A very good evening to all, brothers and sisters in the Dhamma. Today is 6th of July 2023, Thursday class. So we'll be continuing our sharing from this book, Straight from the Heart, Unique Dhamma Code, by me. Okay, as usual, let us gather and have the physical puja. Let us compose our mind, develop the faith, saddha, virya. Then mindfully we shall commence the puja chanting. Namo 本师释迦牟尼佛。Namo 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 观世音菩萨。Namo 观世音菩萨。Namo 观世音菩萨。นะโม佛菩萨，นะโม佛菩萨，นะโม佛菩萨。อะระหังสัมมาสัมพุทโธภะคะวะพุทธังภะคะวันตังอะภิวาเทมิสวากาโตภะคะวะตาธัมโมธัมมังนัมสสามิสุปฏิปันโนภะคะวะโตสาวกสังโฆสังฆังนามามินะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะนะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะนะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะพุทธังสรณังกัจฉามิธัมมังสรณังกัจฉามิสังฆังสรณังกัจฉามิตุติยมปิพุทธังสรณังกัจฉามิตุติยมปิธัมมังสรณังกัจฉามิตุติยมปิสังฆังสรณังกัจฉามิตติยมปิพุทธังสรณังกัจฉามิตติยมปิธัมมังสรณังกัจฉามิตติยมปิสังฆังสรณังกัจฉามิปานาติปาตาเวรมณีสิกขาปะดังสมาธิยามิอาทินาทานาเวรมณีสิกขาปะดังสมาธิยามิกาเมสุมิจฉาจาราเวรมณีสิกขาปะดังสมาธิยามิมุสาวาทาเวรมณีสิกขาปะดังสมาธิยามิสุราเมรยามัจจาปมาดัฏฐานะเวรมณีสิกขาปะดังสมาธิยามิ We shall continue with our Padipa Puja chanting. Ganda sarapatithena dipena tamadang sina tiloka tipang sambuddhang pujayami tamonudang ganda sambara yuttena duppena hang sugang hina pujaye pujaniyang tang puja bhajana muttamang vanna ganda gunupetang etang kusuma santatin pujayami munindasa siri pada saroro Puje mi Buddhang Kusumena Nena Punnena Matena Cha Hotu Mokhang Pupang Milayati Yata Idam Me Kayo Tata Yati Vinasa Bhavang Adivase no Bante Paniyang Parikapitang Anukampang Upadaya Patigan Hatu Muttamang Adivase no Bante Pale Parikapitang Anukampang Upadaya Patigan Hatu Muttamang Adivase no Bante Bojanang Parikapitang Anukampang Upadaya Patigan Hatu Muttamang. Now you will chant the Puja aspiration based on our understanding of the significance of all these Puja offerings. Significance of offering of light. May this offering of light to the Buddha brings forth the causes and conditions to illuminate our mind and help arise the needed clarity and understanding to dispel all darkness or ignorance therein. Significance of offering of water. May this offering of pure, clear, cool water lead us to the pure, clear Dhamma that cools and doses off the fires of all defilements within our mind. Significance of offering of incense. May our morality, virtue, and understanding shine forth far and wide, just like the fragrance of this incense which we are offering to the Blessed One, who is perfect in wisdom and virtue. Significance of offering of fruits. May this offering of fruits remind us of the Dana Parami of generosity and the fruit of our karma, so that we will diligently strive on with heedfulness to attain the path and fruitions soon as possible. Significance of offering of flowers. May this constant offering of flowers to the Blessed One strengthen our faith and constantly remind us of the impermanence of this body, so that we will diligently and sincerely strive on to cultivate Sila, Samadhi, and Panya, leading to ultimate liberation, the born-free Nibbana. Making of overall aspiration. By the power of all these merits born of these offerings, may our spiritual faculties of Saddha, Virya, Sati, Samadhi, and Panya be further strengthened until they become balas or power, sharing and transform merits to all beings. May these merits be shared and transferred to all beings without exception, especially to those who have the condition and affinity to receive them. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Okay, let's pay respect triple jab. Buddhang Puja, Dhammang Puja, Sanghang Puja. So develop this awareness-based meditation until you can realize the true mind within, stabilize the awareness nature. Then use it to meditate. Awareness-based meditation is very important. To do this, you need to stabilize the inner awareness, or some call it mindfulness within. When you are mindful, it means you are just aware before the knowing, before the concept or the word or the idea or any mental aggregate arise. So sati is just an awareness before the arising of the mundane mind, the thought. So if you can be just in the state of relaxed attentiveness, that is sati. That's why whatever arises, aware, finish. Don't try to know, don't try to create any more thinking out of it. We are as a human being, we have a physical body with the senses, the 5 basic senses. Together with the brain, we have our 6th sense door. Because there is a consciousness trapped within, that's why it will make contact with the sense bases to trigger off the respective sense door consciousness. The first 5 basic sense door consciousness is your seeing consciousness, hearing consciousness, smell, taste, tactile consciousness. Then we have a brain, which is capable of perception. The brain is where the memory is. So these accumulated experiences, conditioning, belief system, everything that we accumulate there, they become our memory. Then from there, we create thinking, the thought process. That's why thought is respond to memory. Without memory, we cannot create thought. We cannot arise the thought. So it is important to see that process, how thought arises through memory. That's why for those who understand, they will explain it clearly in this way. One of the earlier spiritual practitioner or cultivator that understand it is J. Krishnamurti. He said the beginning of thought is the beginning of registration, when we start to register, accumulate into memory. Then in the meditative state of awareness, he saw how thought arises. Thought arises because there is this memory. So in response to that memory, you start to think. And the thinking always starts with perception. From perception, your views, opinion, conditioning, belief system, and whatever accumulated mind state and conditioning can be your fear, worry, anxiety, phobia, scars of memory, or whatever. Through that, you will stir your mind. You will create discriminative movement of mind, or what we call duality. Because we will have craving, positive and negative craving, like and dislike, pleasant and unpleasant sense experience. Then we also develop a lot of views, opinion, belief system, and conditioning. That's how we act. That's why when you act according to memory, basically you are not acting at all. That one is not wisdom. That one is knowledge, which may not be the truth. It can be a lot of ideas, or what they call conditioning, belief system, and all those things. Then within that accumulated memory, there is a lot of negative emotion of fear, worry, anxiety, phobia, insecurity, scars of memory, and all those child abuse or very severe emotion that we accumulate. It can be our phobia or panic attack or intense insecurity. So all this trigger intense fear, worry, anxiety, leading to mental problems, accumulating into what they call depressive state or depression. So when you have a mind that is full of this psychological memory that is very negative, then you develop a lot of mental problem and mental issue. Then there is a lot of stress because all this fear, worry, anxiety, sorrow, and lamentation, they are negative emotion, very detrimental to our immune system. They cause our immune system to fail. And because of that, we develop sickness, illness. Cells starts to develop what they call mutation, leading to a lot of these so-called traumatic diseases, especially cancer. So all this is what the human psyche is. Without awareness, without mindfulness, we cannot see all this. So we create a lot of unnecessary thinking. And today's topic, the unique code, is all about this ignorant that condition sankhara activity that lead to all this wrong thought, that condition our suffering and misery, our negative emotion and all those things. So later on, I will explain. That's why it is very important that we develop this awareness-based meditation to reverse all this unnecessary thinking, so that we are just aware within hardly any thought. We only think when there is a need to think, when there is a need to live life, to express ourselves, to develop the life activity movements. So all this, the cultivator of the way will develop understanding. Then you will know how to live life based on the understanding. So to live life, we must have awareness to develop the understanding of life. Otherwise, we cannot live life. If you don't understand life, you cannot live life. You are heedless. So understanding life is very important, and we need mindfulness or awareness to observe clearly, to understand what is going on, and to realize the profound wisdom through this silent observation. When we observe through the silent mind and realize what we are, who we are, and how we function as a human being, then this understanding and wisdom transform us, liberate us, and make us different. And this is what meditation is all about. So we need mindfulness to start off with. That's why this awareness-based meditation is very important. So I just give you the rough guide. You need the 4 support, and of the 4 support, you need the first 3. Relax, maintain awareness, then number 3 is to stabilize the awareness. So relaxation is easy. Relax both body and mind completely at ease. Don't try to know, don't try to do anything so that the thinking does not arise. We are all knowing come from thought. All doing also come from the thought. Who do, who meditate the thought, who know the thought. So when you are actively activating all this thinking process, the perception, the memory, everything, then you create heedless thinking. We call it sankhara activity. When sankhara arise, thought arise, emotion arise, mental activity arise, mental formation arise, then it will condition a lot of negative emotion, delusion. Unless you have awakened, developed the enlightenment, then you will understand all this clearly, then you cannot be deceived by the phenomenal world of consciousness. So relaxation is very important. Don't try to know, don't try to do anything, just relax, maintain awareness. Whatever arises, aware, finish, aware, finish. Then continue to stabilize this training until the awareness becomes very, very clear, very stable, very still, until hardly any thought. If you continue to relax and maintain awareness, then all your thinking will slow down until finally the mundane mind cease or stop arising. Then what is left is your pure awareness within. That's why you should inquire later on when you come out of the meditation, or if you can while you are in that state of tranquility and stillness, without thought, who are you? Find out from within. The awareness nature that is stable inside there can understand. Then how thought arise, how the aggregates of mind arise, following the law of Paticca Samuppada, law of dependent origination and all those things. You can slowly, mindfully come out of the meditation. Try to maintain whatever inner peace, inner calmness, and inner awareness that you have developed for as long as you can. These are the mind state that you need to use to live your life, to develop the stability of heedfulness or daily mindfulness leading to heedfulness. Okay, now you turn to page 6 of the chanting book. You will do the invocation to the Devas. Invocation to the Devas. In this universe, in the entirety, let the deities or Devas come here. Let them hear the good teachings of the King of Sages, which gives heaven and release Nibbana. This is the time to listen to the teaching. This is the time to listen to the teaching. This is the time to listen to the teaching. Samanta Chiyakawalesu Atra Gachantu Devata Saddamang Muni Rajasa Sunantu Sakamokadang Dhamma Savanan Kalo Ayang Badanta Dhamma Savanan Kalo Ayang Badanta Dhamma Savanan Kalo Ayang Badanta Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Iti peso bhagava arahang sama sambuddho Vijja charana sampanno sugato lokavido Anuttaro purisa dhamma sarati Sattva ta deva manusanang Buddho Bhagavati Swakato Bhagavata Dhammo Sanditiko Akaliko Ehipasiko Opanaiko Pajatang Veditago Vinohiti Supatipano Bhagavato Sāvaka Sangho Ujupatipano Bhagavato Sāvaka Sangho Nyaya Patipano Bhagavato Sāvaka Sangho Samici Patipano Bhagavato Sāvaka Sangho Yadidang Chatari Purisa Yugani Atta Purisa Pugala Esa Bhagavato Sāvaka Sangho Ahuneyo Pahuneyo Keneyo Anjali Karaniyo Anutarang Punyang Ketang Lokasati Sadhu Sadhu Sadhu. Okay, you all can be seated. Okay, before we start our sharing today, I just have a short announcement. Because today is Thursday, so this coming Sunday I am visiting Nananda with a group of Kayanamitas. So we will have to cancel the Sunday class. Then after that, next week I think the whole of next week until the following week, I will be going to Sabah for holiday with a group of Kayamitas too. I think about 10 of us. So the class will be cancelled also. So make a note. I will make the announcement. So this coming Sunday until I think the following, not only Sunday, I think after that, I will let you know the date. Anyway, my trip start on the 12th. 12 is Wednesday. So 11, the Tuesday class also will be cancelled. So that's why Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday, until Sunday. Then the next week I still not back yet. I only back on the 17th, I think. Until Monday. Then Tuesday, we see how it goes. If we can have it, we will have it. Otherwise, we may have to cancel it. Okay? So just a short announcement. Okay, now we will continue from where we stopped. We are at Unit Code 77. We finished 76. Last Thursday, we spent the whole session just developing the understanding of Unit Code 76, which is very beautiful. So that one is about what meditation is. So anyway, I just read to you Code 76 again, so that you can recall. To meditate is not to create more thoughts. Instead, you need sati or mindfulness, the silent mind, to see the essential Dhamma, to understand who you are and how you function as a human being, and to understand clearly the Paticca links, or the law of dependent origination link that the Buddha taught us, how we function as a human being, the mind, how they arise and pass away following this Paticca. So that part we have covered, and there's a lot of important pointers and teachings. Then now we move on to the next unique code, which is related. And I have also covered them before. But this time I think we can go into it more detail so that you can develop the understanding. So unique code 77. The first two links of the Paticca or law of dependent origination is avijja paccaya sankhara. So surely by now, most Kayamita will be familiar with these two Pali words. Avijja is ignorant. Ignorant of what? Ignorant of truth, or all of nature's truth, especially the spiritual truth, the spiritual law of karma niyama. Then we have the spiritual law of mind, citta niyama. Then we have the spiritual law of all the other essential truth or Dhamma taught by the Buddha. He called it Dhamma niyamas. So when you understand these three spiritual laws that governs life and existence, then you would have developed right view. Then that will liberate you from avijja. Avijja means ignorant of the noble truths, ignorance of all the law that governs life and existence, especially the spiritual law. So dependent on avijja, the Buddha say, it will condition. Paccaya means condition. So avijja paccaya sankhara means dependent on ignorance. It will condition sankhara activity or mental activity, mental thinking. So these two links are very active in the normal mind of living beings who have not developed the mindfulness within, the awareness within. That's why human beings think a lot. And when I was young, I remember I wrote an essay in lower 6. That topic was interesting. It's about understanding life. So I mentioned, as a human being, we are a creature of thought, because that time I already knew we think a lot. Then the other one is, as a human being, we are gregarious beings. We need companions. We need friends. We need relationship and all these things. So all this, when you develop the understanding, then you become different. You can understand all this movement. So avijja paccaya sankhara, this first two links of the Paticca Samuppada, or the 12 links, the law of dependent origination, is the movement that trigger off all mental activity and emotions. So because of your ignorance, not understanding truth, not understanding reality, and that is the only instrument you have, the thought. Since birth until now, that is the mental instrument that you think you only possess. That's why everything you don't know, you don't understand, or you try to develop understanding and resolve it, you use the thought. That's why in the school, when you have a problem, your teacher will tell you, go back and think about it, believing that by thinking it can solve the problem, it can let you understand. There is no denial. If you don't use the thought, you cannot develop understanding of many things. But thought, being thought, is egoic and limited. That's why all thinking will not lead to wisdom that is beyond thought, beyond mind. So that limitation is the one that actually created the problem of the human psyche, of how living beings get themselves into trouble and entangle themselves. Because before you have the wisdom and the understanding, all your thought process is wrong thought, not based on wisdom and understanding. So because of that, no amount of thinking can give rise to wisdom. But we must understand, to live life we need thought. And thought is useful because thought is basically knowledge, memory, remembrance. And without thought, you cannot live life. So that is the other complication. So if you don't think, you don't acquire knowledge. You don't acquire experiences. You don't get to understand new things and all those things. That's why we are born a human being, a creature of thought that actually very familiar with the thinking process. But when you think without understanding, without wisdom, without the clear mind, then this thinking can become heedless, can lead to suffering, misery, can cause us to project our thought and develop the unnecessary fear, worry, anxiety, sorrow, and lamentation, including phobia, scars of memory, insecurity, all this. Yeah. Then a lot of emotions, yeah, negative emotion, psychological emotion. So this is the understanding that we must develop so that we will not fall into this way of living life that leads to suffering, entanglement, affliction, sorrow, lamentation, unnecessary suffering. But without wisdom, before you develop the understanding of truth, this link, avijja, is there. So avijja paccaya sankhara, before you develop the meditative understanding, the insight in the phenomena and the awakening, this movement is very, very rampant. And because of that, most living being has problem. But the thought process is also useful because it's knowledge, it's technical. So to understand technical things, to develop knowledge, you need to use the thought. That's why when it comes to academic study and all those things, science, maths, history, or whatever that need the memory, that need the thought process, is very useful. That's why for academic excellence, for progress of science and technology, you need thought. So thought has its purpose and usage. But the only thing that we have to understand is thought is not suitable for psychological thinking. When it comes to psychological memory, you must not use thought. If you use thought, it will lead to more delusion. Then it will lead to suffering. So mechanical memory are very useful, like in the IT world. Yeah? You have your mechanical memory, the RAM and the ROM. And these are mechanical memory because the computer has no emotion. Understand? Computer has got no fear, no worry, no anxiety. Don't have all those emotions. It's a machine. Whatever you input, it will give you the appropriate output based on your design. Maybe they call it the system analyst do one. What you call that? Programming. So you come up with all the computer language, then you do the computer programming. And this computer can learn through programming. It's just like the human mind, the mundane mind. We learn how to speak, communicate through what? Through language, through words, through concept, through ideas. Exactly the same. But the human mind got one extra thing that can create trouble and give problem. That's why it's different from the computer. The human mind has emotion, understand? Emotion. It can develop fear, worry, anxiety, sorrow, lamentation, phobia, excitement, and all those things. It can become violent, it can become jealous, it can build up hatred, strong negative emotion, resentment, deep resentment, strong emotion. And all this is what the mundane mind is all about. So when you have this psychological memory, this is the one that trigger off the delusion. Because through your own wrong view, deluded view, you grasp and cling on to things. Then when you cannot get what you want, it triggers off the negative emotion of fear, worry, anxiety, sorrow, and lamentation, insecurity, etc. All this. So meditation is to see this, to see the danger of all this, to see the limitation of thought, to see how thought divide and create the evil roots of greed, hatred, and delusion, and all the duality that brings about conflict, war, unnecessary misunderstanding, infighting, argument, everything. And this is what real meditation is. If you cannot develop the mindfulness and the awareness to see the movement of thought and understand all this, then you are not a cultivator. After listening to what I share with you, you will come to realize the Buddhist teaching or meditation is not about acquiring knowledge, understand not? Dhamma knowledge cannot free your mind, cannot lead to realization, cannot lead to penetrative understanding and awakening. You need the silent mind, the awareness within, to enable you to observe and develop the understanding, to enable one to insight into phenomena and awaken to the universal characteristics of anicca, dukkha, anatta. So this is what basically the teaching is all about. The Buddhist meditation is all about. That's why it's all about sati, mindfulness, leading to heedfulness, appamada. Without this, you are as if dead. The heedless are as if dead. That's why heedless thinking is very dangerous. When you are not mindful and aware, you cannot understand life, you cannot live life, you cannot be in the meditative state. Unless you understand all this, what you are doing in the name of meditation is, to me, waste of time. You may acquire a lot of technique, a lot of what they call meditative experiences, Dhamma knowledge, but that is not wisdom. That cannot liberate your mind, free your mind, unless you make use of it to develop the pariyatti, means learning of the teaching, then put it into practice to develop the wisdom. When you put it into practice, there are two steps. The first step is to reflect on it, contemplate on it, then inquire into it. Then you will have the ability to actually assimilate all the understanding that you have developed through the first turning, wisdom, Suttamaya Panya. Whatever you have heard or learned, you put it into cultivation, you reflect, you contemplate, you inquire, then you stabilize the understanding, then you assimilate it. Then this develop into another type of wisdom, the Buddha called it Chintamaya Panya, which is the initial wisdom, born of constant reflection, contemplation, and inquiry into the teaching. Unless you do that, some form of understanding will be there, but not penetrative. The penetrative one is the third turning, Bhavanamaya Panya, where the teaching take off in a different direction. No more reflection, contemplation, and inquiry. It's all about mindfulness, sati, developing the four foundations of mindfulness. Kaya-nupassana, Vedana-nupassana, Chitta-nupassana, and Dhamma-nupassana. So everything is about sati, mindfulness, leading to clear comprehension. That's why the fifth step of the Avijja Sutta is Sati Sampajana, mindfulness and clear comprehension. The clear comprehension is to prevent you from deviating, to make sure that the sati you develop is geared towards the essential understanding of truth, spiritual truth, the awakening, the insight, and all those things. So this understanding is very important. So step one of Avijja Sutta is to have Kayanamitta, to enable you to come together as Dhamma friends, to learn the Dhamma, to motivate, to support, and help each other to develop the training. Means together we walk the path of Dhamma. Then there is one type of Kayanamitta that has the Dhamma. And that one can guide you, can teach you, can show you the way and develop the understanding for you. So that one is more difficult to encounter. They are more rare. But you can have them, it will be very useful. Once you have them and fulfill the first step of the Avijja Sutta, then you are in the domain of meditation to develop the enlightenment. Well, step two is having the opportunity to constantly listen to the true Dhamma. If you don't have Dhamma friend that together develop the activity and training and cultivation, then you don't have this opportunity or opportunity time to listen to the true Dhamma. So like our case, we have our Kayamita grouping. So you know when are the classes, the recording, everything, and our spiritual activity, spiritual trip and everything. That's how you develop the second step, to constantly listen to the true Dhamma. Then once you do that, you develop the faith, because when you listen attentively with faith and with joy, then that understanding actually trigger off a type of joy inside you. Then it will trigger off the investigative part of the Dhamma. Then when you start to investigate, and it stand up to investigation, then the faith in the Buddha and his teaching become very strong. And that is basically step three. When you have the faith in the Buddha and his teaching, this virya, spiritual zeal, the spiritual faculty of virya will arise. Then it will drive you to cultivate sati, mindfulness. Then from there, you will develop the ability to cultivate the second turning and the third turning wisdom, which is Chintamaya Panya and Bhavanamaya Panya. And once you do this, the initial wisdom will arise, Yoniso Manasikara. That's how step 4 come to place. Then when step 4 is in place, you only need to stabilize the sati until step 5 arises. You not only stabilize your sati, you have clear comprehension. Clear comprehension means clearly comprehending why you develop this meditation, the 4 foundation of mindfulness. That's why inside the sutta is mentioned clear comprehension of the first one is what? Sincerity of purpose, so that you don't deviate. You don't develop this mindfulness or whatever so-called 4 foundation of mindfulness cultivation for psychic, for personal, for selfish purpose and all those things, to become famous and all those things. That one will cause deviation. It will lead to thought base. And you fail to understand what passaddhi is, the enlightenment factor, like that day, Kok Lun share. You will deviate. The 7 factor enlightenment, that 5th enlightenment factor, passaddhi, is very important. That is your silent mind, your true mind, the tranquil mind within, your awareness nature. If you miss that one, you go into energy field, psychic field. You cannot develop it further. So clear comprehension of sincerity of purpose is very important. Once you hit that, then you are home. Then the next one is clear comprehension of domain of meditation. Means you don't be deluded by what people tell you. Wait till I retire, only I can meditate, I can cultivate. No. Meditation can be done at any time, any place, anywhere. Like the Buddha said, the domain of meditation is such. Life itself is your meditation. Initially, it's your waking moment. Then later on, sati can be developed until your resting moment. It can even go into your sleep. Your subconscious and unconscious mind state when you dream. The awareness is inside there. And it can be done. So domain of meditation will help you to resolve your busy schedule, your excuses, because most people give excuse, not now, I'm too busy, I got a lot of duty to do, my children are still small, I cannot afford to retire yet, I need a lot of wealth, money, finance and all those things. So all these are the excuses, the justification. When you don't understand, it becomes logical. Then it traps you. Then the third one is clear comprehension of the importance of certain aspect in life. Whatever you are doing, the most important place is the here and the now. If you are here, you worry about problems other place, means clear comprehension of suitability is not there. Suitability means whatever you are here now doing is the most important. And the most important place is here and the now. The most important people are the people you can reach out to. And the most important time is, of course, also in the here and the now. So this clear comprehension of suitability of place, people and time, you must develop it so that you will not be deluded by the thought process that tend to project your thought into the future or recall through past memory to trigger off the fear, the phobia, the unhappy memories. So thinking of the past and thinking of the future, they are both not a reality. They will trigger off unnecessary fear, worry, anxiety, sorrow, and lament. Especially when you project your thought, fear arises. Then when you recall scars of memory, it conditions your negative emotion. So all this is what clear comprehension is all about. When you have clear comprehension of suitability of place, time, and people, you will not do this heedless, foolish, unnecessary, heedless thinking or wrong thought may not arise. Then the last one is clear comprehension of non-delusion. Means you are not deluded by the 10 defilements of insight. These are very beautiful mind state that people has developed. But then, it is a defilement of insight. If you go through it without understanding, you attach to it, you cling on to it, it will cause deviation. So clear comprehension of non-delusion is very important to check the 10 defilements of insight and make sure you understand them so that you are not deluded by them. So these are all the important understanding. So when you have sati sampajana developed, you will not deviate. Then naturally after that, step 6 and 7 will arise. When your mindfulness and clear comprehension is so stable, your precepts are all in order. That's why step 6, you will develop it. Step 6 is sense restraint. Means you cannot break your precept anymore, which means you are at least a sotapan. Then step 7 is the 3 type of right conduct. Right thought, right speech, right action. They will naturally arise. And when you can do that, you are at least a sotapan, if not a sakadagami, second stage of sainthood. And then after that, you can overcome. In the Satipatthana Sutta, step 8, where you cultivate the 4 foundations of mindfulness, the Buddha always have this, what they call verse. After overcoming sorrow and lamentation and grief, then only you can cultivate these 4 foundations of mindfulness. How to overcome all this? You must have the initial wisdom. You must have clear comprehension so that you are not deluded. Even as a sotapan, by then you would have broken the first 3 fetters: self-delusion, attachment to right and ritual, faith in the triple gem, especially Sakaya-ditti, self-delusion. Once you have that developed, you can never go wrong. You can never deviate. That's why before you have such understanding, you go and cultivate the 4 foundations of mindfulness, you are wasting your time. So step 8 will naturally arise when you develop the Avijja Sutta step in accordance. Then of course after step 8 is step 9, which is 7 factors of enlightenment. They will constantly arise. Then you know you are on the right path. Yeah, these are enlightenment factors that lead to enlightenment. Then step 10 is of course enlightenment in the here and the now. So going back to this unique quote, avijja paccaya sankhara, now you start to see the importance of liberating from avijja. So based on what I explained just now, you listen to it again, then the whole understanding of the cultivation becomes different. Like I explained just now, meditation or Buddhist meditation or training is not about acquiring knowledge, doing all the thought-based meditation, going through all the fantastic meditative experience. No. It is the ability to develop heedfulness within. And to develop heedfulness within, you must develop the stability of mindfulness leading to the state of ever mindful. constantly meditative. And when you combine these two, it becomes heedfulness. So stability or awareness or mindfulness is very important, and that is your silent mind, your true mind, the first hallmark of feeling. Then from there, you use it to insight into phenomena, to observe, to awaken, to understand the truth, the paticca samuppada, everything. That's how the cultivation is to develop. Then with this explanation, now I will read Unit Code 77, then the clear understanding will be there. That's why today I want to go into it more detail so that you all can understand. The first two links of paticca samuppada are avijja paccaya sankhara. So ignorance leading to mental activity or thinking. Therefore, when you think a lot, it means what? When you think a lot, it means what? Based on these two links. Yeah? It means what? It means you have avijja, isn't it? Otherwise you think for what? That's why people who think a lot, they don't have the Dhamma. Understand? Yeah. And they overthink until they develop chronic mental problem, landing themselves into unnecessary mental issues, leading to final depression. So when you think a lot, it means you have ignorance or avijja, which means you lack wisdom and you are heedless. Heedless means what? Not mindful, not able to be in the state of awareness to observe, to see, and to understand, and to insight into phenomena, to develop the wisdom and the understanding. Instead, the enlightened one, listen, this is very important. Instead, the enlightened ones, they only think when they need to, or else they are most of the time silent and just aware within, with specific phenomenal awareness or spacious awareness without a center. Because if you are not aware, means you are lost in thought. I already explained before, in the early days. Man or human being, living being, can only do one thing at a time. Why I say that? It's because I saw it in the meditation. It's either you are aware within, completely silent without thought, so that you can be aware of what is going on, so that you can observe, you can be sensitive, you can be in that meditative state. If you are not in that state, then what state of mind are you in? If you are not aware, means you are lost in thought, isn't it? True or not? When you are thinking, lost in thought, what are you doing? Preoccupied with the thought process, isn't it? Then how can you be in the state of awareness? So it's either or. Either you are aware or you are lost in thought. And you check yourself. Most of the time, most living beings, what state of mind they are in. That's why they have this ceaseless, heedless thinking. They think a lot. They are hardly mindful, aware. That's why without sati sampajana, stability of mindfulness, there is no space between thought. And when there is no space between thought, you can hardly be aware. And to live life, most people will tell you, don't be crazy without thought how to live life. There is some truth in that statement. But the cultivator of the way hardly think. They only think when they need to. They only arise thought when there is a necessity. That's why what they arise is right thought, not deluded thought. That's why you must have right view. born of wisdom, right understanding. So throughout the day, they also have to live life. If they don't think, then what are they doing? There is a question. Just now I give you the answer already. Most of the time, the enlightened one, they are without thought. They only arise thought when there is a necessity. Then the other part of the statement is what? They are most of the time either in the state of specific phenomenal awareness or spacious awareness without a center. When you are aware of the phenomena, specific phenomenal awareness, do you think? You don't think, right? That's how they live their life. They just aware. Then they need to know, they know, perceive it. No more thinking. Unless they want to develop understanding, they reflect, contemplate, but no movement on. The awareness inside is very stable one. That creative mind state is very stable one. Then most of the time when they are at rest, they have this spacious awareness without a center. They just stay there like that. Hardly any thinking, any sankhara, any movement of thought. That is what the big difference is between an enlightened being and a non-enlightened being. Okay? Can you understand? Yeah? So I read through one more time, then maybe I will explain it on the whiteboard. Yeah? The first two links of paticca samuppada is avijja pacca sankhara. So by now I think this is clear. Huh? Therefore, when you think a lot, it means you have avijja, ignorant. You lack wisdom and you are heedless. Instead, the enlightened one, they only think when they need to, or else they are most of the time silent and just aware within. Then what they do? They have specific phenomenal awareness and spacious awareness without a center. So this is very complete and very clearly explained. Yeah? Then the next unit code, I might as well finish it off so that at least we cover two. For your meditative mind to be stable, you need to have the initial wisdom, the 5 spiritual faculty, and the daily mindfulness properly developed. See, these are the pointers. These are the 3 criteria that you need for you to develop the meditative mind to be effective. So for the meditative mind to be stable, you need to have step 4 of the Avijja Sutta, means the initial wisdom. Means you must develop the first turning, second turning, wisdom. Then go into the third turning. In fact, the first and second turning, the second turning is more important. You can develop it until very stable. The initial wisdom is good enough for you to fulfill step 4. Yeah. But of course, when you have the penetrative third turning wisdom, then your step 4 become like powers, ballast. Means that wisdom become like unshakable. Yeah. So after you have this yoniso manasikara developed, by right, your 5 spiritual faculty will be there. So this is automatic. Then by right, the third one, daily mindfulness, also will be very stable and properly developed. So this is how you must understand the meditative transformation and process, so that you focus on the cultivation to bring about these 3 things. The initial wisdom is very important. I already told you, without the initial wisdom, step 4, sati sampajana cannot arise. Because without the initial wisdom, at the moment of sense experience, that wisdom, initial wisdom, cannot come out and prompt you to develop the understanding of life. Then you cannot deal with sense experience. That's why every moment of sense experience, whether you are seeing something, hearing something, smell, taste, tactile, or think of something, you stir your mind. Why? Well, you don't have Yoniso Manasakara. But when you have Yoniso Manasakara, you are at peace. That Dhamma understanding will prompt you, and you can accept them for what they are. You can see things as they are. You can be with the moment, at peace with the reality that arises. So all this understanding must be there. And without this, your mind cannot have space between thought. It cannot be quiet. It cannot be still. It cannot be tranquil. It cannot be in a meditative state. Otherwise, every moment of sense experience, you will stir your mind. Develop the reaction of mind, the emotion, everything. The paticca samuppada movement. From avijja paccaya sankara, sankara paccaya vijnana, then straight away input the content of consciousness. Namarup came up. Then within there, because there is the sense basis, there is contact, there is feeling condition, craving. Straight away, it becomes craving. Then you grasp, you cling, then you become that. And you take birth. Hence arise the whole method. All these movements are very fast. That's why without Yoniso Manasikara, you cannot deal with life. You cannot understand life. You cannot stop all the paticca samuppada link and movement. So this is the reason why all these understanding are very important. So coming back to the whiteboard notes. To live life. So to live life, you must have the mindfulness to see this mundane mind. Understand this mundane mind. Best to live life, you need the mundane mind. This is the only instrument for you to live life. Then there is this phenomenal world of consciousness. Then there is this five aggregate of form and mind that trigger off this phenomenal world of consciousness through the sixth sense basis. That's why you have to develop the meditative ability to come back to the pure awareness to start your cultivation. And this is what mindfulness is all about. Awareness nature within is all about. So from here, you can see all this very clearly. Then you develop the wisdom. This inner awareness, sati, is the one that can see, understand, and develop the wisdom. So here is also the true mind, the silent mind, the inner awareness nature, sati. Then true mind without thought is the first hallmark of Huining. So this one, Wu Nian, means Wu Nian de Qingjie, the state of no thought. This is the first hallmark of Huining. This is the silent mind, the true mind, the meditative mind. That's why all cultivation start from here. Without this, it's thought-based, knowledge-based, like what I said just now. With this, you're aware, you observe, you insight in the phenomenon, you awaken, you develop all the understanding. So the whole cultivation become clear and easy to understand when you have this put into proper, means proper diagram that enable you to, because most human beings, they need to grasp the understanding. If they don't see the diagram and the words, if I just sit down there and talk to you, most people cannot absorb. They cannot even follow or understand what I say. But because of what I did there, you all cultivated, some of you can follow. But when I come here, you see very clearly. Then this is available in the video and also in our My Kayamita. We will take a snapshot. Then from here, you listen to the recording. Then you contemplate, reflect. Then you stabilize your understanding. In future, when you cultivate, it becomes very clear, very easy. Then you progress very fast. Understand? The purpose of today's sharing is to go into detail so that you all can develop all this clear understanding. Then when the understanding is developed, this one will cease. the silent mind, the true mind, the pure awareness also will cease. And then you realize Nibbana, the enlightenment in the here now. The initial sainthood way, you only have a glimpse of Nibbana. So that one, at this pure awareness, it can cease, but momentary, not for long. Even long also, for a longer period, but after that the mind come back. So the true long cessation, if you want to go the Bodhisattva way, is from here the cessation will take you into the source, the unconditioned. Then when you come out, you understand how creation starts. Who are you? What are you? Then this oneness nature, you need to really go in and realize it. Okay? Any questions? Yeah? Can follow. We finished 78. Next one is 79. Yeah? So now you'll continue your second session, which is meditation reporting, followed by whatever question you may have. You can also ask me questions regarding today's topic, wherever you find it. You need elaboration or explanation, further explanation, or any question regarding your meditation or the teachings of the Buddha, and also how to apply this teaching so that it can help you understand life and resolve your life problem.
Good evening, Brother.
Sadhu. Yeah. Good evening. Yeah. 听到。
Almita. 既然大家这么礼让，我就把握这个机会跟
Sadhu. 好啊。
我就report 一下我几天前的一个experience 啦。那天早上起来，我其实好像在睡觉，但是他很 fully aware。
Sadhu。
然后他那个 awareness 在那边很清楚的，因为他的时间有一点点长，所以他很清楚的
对
看到那个所谓的从那个 awareness or silent then 怎样 manifest and then 知道所谓的 aware 的 conscious of 这个所谓的 phenomena，就是那边怎样出来。以前我记得我有跟 Brother report 过同样的 experience， 但是那时候我就没有这么清楚，因为 happening 比较短。
你的 mindfulness not so stable yet。
就现在他是很清楚的。
对。看
到从那个所谓的 silent mind or awareness， 慢慢对。了一段时间，然后从那个慢慢的出来，然后
对，Sadhu。
知道所谓的知道就是你 aware of 这个所谓的这个 phenomena， 或者是 contact means you are conscious of 这个所谓的你眼前看到的这个所谓的假象还是
假象
其实
phenomenal
当你在里面其实什么都没有。
对，因为它是 without word is the unconditioned， 它是那个 awareness 罢了， just aware， 没字没 concept 没 word， 什么都没有， but 那个境界是不一样的，那个是 very beautiful state。 Then 如果你能够在那边 very stable like what you have gone through, that stability of it will keep you inside. That's why most of the time you are just aware without any movement, activity, tranquil and still. Then later on, like Ni explained, how you become like aware back to normal awareness. So for your case, because 你懂得怎样去 relax, maintain awareness and stabilize it until you can go into that nature for quite long period. When you can do that, it stabilizes. Then from that nature you come out, you become different. You start to understand many things. Because that awareness that is so aware inside, when it release it out, it will slowly come out into the world again and arise the normal awareness with a free mind. That time, from there, it creates the movement and the thought process. It's supposed to be very fast, but because we come out from there, it is like slow motion. You can see the sense data, kind of like you explained just now. The whole process becomes so clear to you. This is what will happen. That's why when you have that mindfulness stability, you become very different. You understand the law of dependent origination very clearly. And everything is dependent originating. That's why truth is everywhere. Why can't you see all the activity and movement? They are like slow motion flowing. Then initially I remember the awareness can sense the sense data coming in before it create contact and all those things. That's how you become like a normal human being again. But when you are in that state, you are different. You are fully aware, and it's so different. That's why it's like slow motion for you to see and you understand. Then when you come back to normal consciousness and awareness and starts to live your life again, you become heedful, mindful most of the time. That's why we all hardly think. Then we hardly can go back to the old way of heedlessness anymore. Most of the time it's aware inside. And the awareness becomes so different, so stable. Then later on, like I explained in the new book, when the mundane mind collapses, that nature is even more amazing. It shines forth. Like that night, the Tuesday class, after all of you left, songs stay back for almost 1 hour plus until past midnight. So we were talking about all this type of thing. Then he asked a lot of questions. Then a lot of those sharing, which was very beautiful. That's why all this, unless you are cultivated all the way, you cannot understand on. Then we cannot talk. That's why that night he stayed back and we talk, and there's so much thing to share. So this is what Dhamma is all about. When you go through, you develop that ability to comprehend, understand, then there is condition to share, and there is condition to develop understanding. That's why what Alicia has shared is very good. Let us rejoice. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. 很好 Alicia, sadhu. 你 continue, 还有什么？
Radio 是很 amazing， 因为
Yeah, very amazing one.
有时候我在处在那个我的 garden 那边，我 look out 啊，我是 like 好像讲，就是你是看，但是你是很 fully aware， 又没有字，又没有什么这样。
对，sadhu。
很 amazing 就对了。
对，很奥妙，来how come like that? 有智慧是哦 like why is it like that? Nothing has changed, no. In the past cannot see, suddenly everything becomes so clear. That is like slow motion, no. Slow down for you to see. But actually nothing has changed, no. It's because of your awareness nature. That nature is very different. When it transforms, when it develops that understanding, it becomes like that. That's why no amount of words can describe this unless you are a cultivator that has gone through that process. But it's good to share all this because a lot of Kayamita, you all may realize this stage soon, not too long. If you are sincere, have the faith, and diligent in your cultivation. With this amount of sharing, like Brother Song used to tell me, he said, the recent weeks or months, every session is like so amazingly beautiful, the Dhamma. and so profound. And every time he listens, it's so different. Then before he can finish listening, the next one come out already. The next one come out already. So this is what the true cultivator will develop. Then that joy inside there, like what Alicia, Puja, they all went through together. So that joy inside there will keep on moving you. And it's like unending, the understanding. And so wonderful, so amazing, so beautiful. Yeah. Dan Song told me he's going for 1 month retreat. Last time that so-called that he attended on, but this time he want to be a participant. When is your trip after Sabbath trip? August time. So during that time, he will be going to that silent retreat, the meditation. So that one, I told him, make full use of it. It can help him. Yeah, he is ready to go for this style of thing. Then when you are inside there, a lot of things will happen to you, and if you really go through it. Then don't be like complacent after that, because after you go through all this, you will experience a lot of fantastic manifestation and experience and all those things, but you will also go through the defilements of insight. But this defilement of insight that is mentioned in the Theravada tradition sutta, they are not that fantastic actually. It's already very fantastic and amazing for normal practitioner. Like you experience all this, not only nimitta, calmness of mind, one-pointedness, absorption, everything, because they don't know how to do awareness based, so they go into that. Then they develop continuous mindfulness, absorption throughout the day, like they are fully aware, mindful, no thought, nothing. Actually, everything is a conditioned state held in the absorption or that concentration, jhana and all things. So be aware of all those things. If you go too deep into absorption or that energy, you can feel it one, you are no one. Then remember one very important support, relax. Relax into it. Keep on relaxing into it. No matter how strong the energy is, how fantastic that mind state is, relax. Then it becomes more refined. Then that relaxation prevents you from deviating, from going into energy field and other things. Then what transform after that to awareness based on the Theravada tradition don't have inside their 10 development of insight. That one only cultivator who go that way can understand, like what Pocheng they all go through, Alicia and some other Kayamitas, and some you have also gone through. Because all this, when they manifest, is awareness based on, not thought based on. So it's very different. So Sadhu also, very song. Alicia, 可以 continue.
Radio，
Yeah.
我记得上一回我 report 我的meditation radio 有讲过，它会 manifest 好像你的 heart area 会慢慢 become hollow 这样。
对对对，它会开，then like become like 没有东西在里面的，
对对，我是那天我在我的放回来的I mean 在那个 on the journey is very jam。So initially 我就开车，我开车其实我也是很想睡觉，但是那个 awareness 可以 maintain 着，然后我就先开到本洞头，然后我就换叫 Freddy 开，因为我知道
你 rest 的时候 very beautiful。
那个时候哇，当我很放松，因为有点就他的 heart area 那边就他好像 空着很空这样好。
对 you will experience because 你的 awareness nature will be there. Then it will continue to move it and activate it. Then when you actually earlier on detect the gateway, the transformation from inside actually happened already. Then this follow on, what you experience now is the initial. It will continue for many years on, many years on. Then what you experience now, it will happen when the conditions are there, then it like give you the understanding. But after a while, it like no more one, no. It like close off one, no. So you don't expect it to be all the time there, no. Forget about it. But you just have faith, continue to develop it. Then, like I say, everything is part of the way. Don't worry. Then it will come back. Then when it come back later on, when it develop further, you will understand. Yeah, the movement every time different one. The activity all different one. Then how it happened and how actually that heart area become very different. 那个要一段时间 which is very good. But what you go through now, the initial phase, you can feel that is already very good. So 那个 heart 那边呢，你要 relax into it when 那个东西先出来。Then like I said 了解了不要去 like become complacent. Then continue to develop that cultivation and understanding until it become very, very stable. Because I realize if people are not careful, they become complacent, then for a while, if they don't go and develop it again, then they will lose it one. No? Then when they lose it, they find it very difficult to get it back. But for your case, not like that. For your case, I think you already very stable. That's why most of the time, even in your daily life, you can have that mind state already, which signify that you have developed it very well and very stable. So take note of what I explained just now. And when you continue to develop it, just relax into it. Then maintain awareness to understand. That's it. Then let it happen. Let it happen. Because this process at the heart area, it can be over many years. Many years. Because after my Monday mind collapse, it's already almost 30 over years. I think 34 years already. But it's still happening. The heart there, the nature, front and back, a lot of things still happening. But that one, unless there is condition, we just let it be. So sadhu to you, Alicia. Develop that movement and understand it. Then 不要 like 太过 eager to connect to 好像我 describe 的 because that process take a while one 很多年的 then it is a very gradual transformation because it depends on your understanding and the stability of awareness and a lot of other factors that develop the movement. Is a totality of movement and understanding. But you are in a phase where your faith is very strong and you have a lot of virya, spiritual faculty, and you keep on experiencing all this, which is very good. And that is your added advantage that can help you propel all this. And this is very likely because of what you want to do, your vow and all those things. That's why it can move so fast. So sadhu, 很好 Alicia. So make a note, then continue.
就其实很多的 movement 都对，有时候它会好像heart attack 这样 ，you know what I mean？ like 很 tense up 这样，因为
That's why that one you need to relax into it， 不要 relax into it。但有时候它会来 test 你的，来会给你一个感觉啊，来不对路的，like you say heart attack，but it's not heart attack， It's actually 你 over like when it happened that time, 你用你的 without your awareness sensitive and now 你 actually use the awareness to develop it stronger 就好像你要它更强一点then the awareness go there then that thing, but you have to understand there is a balance 你不可以用你的 awareness to want to activate and move it on. That's why I say the last support trust is very important. Let that nature move it by itself. But initially you want to experiment it 可以。That's why 有时候它 happen like 刚才你 describe 那个活络 or what because it's an energy, understand but ours is pure energy, pure wisdom energy that activate the thing. So this one you need trust. Just let it do. Relax into it, maintain awareness. Then it becomes very beautiful. But initially, because we don't know what it is, we are first time, and so interesting. That's why what you describe is true. Well, in the early day, I also play with it. I also try it because I want to find out. For me, I want to find out. Then sometimes it's like that thing is like very strong. Then you saw like you say is you got a feeling like 那个 thought will tell you how come like that one 好像是 heart attack but it nothing to do with heart attack one because I kena heart attack before 2013 I kena heart attack before. That's why after that I know all those things that I experience nothing to do with heart attack. The heart attack one is different one. Heart attack one the heart actually has problem is because your my artery was blocked. The artery was blocked. Then it created that they call it angina. You heard of this word? There's a term, a medical term, angina, where your ECG, like got elevated on, which is abnormal. They call it the abnormal heartbeat. So that one is sign of going to develop into heart attack already. Actually, according to the doctor, after I admit, they told me, I asked them, I'm normal now. After the first 10 minutes, when they did the ECG, then they jabbed me. I know how to relax. Then I self-admit. Then I actually recovered. I got no more problem. Then I was there waiting for the admission and everything, but they put me on a proper emergency case. They got all the, what they call the bed, everything there. Then I said, can I be discharged or not? The doctor looked at me, He said, do you know you just had a heart attack when you came in? We had to keep you here at least for 4 days and 3 nights. Huh? I said, heart attack? You mean that is heart attack? I felt the eerie feeling before the thing happened. Then like I told my wife, normally I meditate, it go away. The moment I lie down to meditate, the sign came now. That eerie feeling again, right? But it's not painful one, no. It's like there is a sign to tell you something not right already. Then 3 months before that, I have the message to ask me to go and check my heart and my artery and all those things. Then I say, I'm normal that time. I said, no need. Then the answer came, you remember your mother age 60 also heart attack, almost collapsed, sweat and all those things. Then my elder brother also, middle of the night, heart attack, collapsed in the toilet, sharp pain. But for my case, I don't have all those signs, like the heart attack sign, sharp pain, sweating, perspire. I don't have none of all those. I just sensitive, aware with that feeling, very eerie. That's why I admit. Then after that, they told me they have to keep me there. So the next 3 or 4 days, I was normal. All the ECG come out normal, nothing. Then after that, I was discharged. Then they say 6 weeks later, come and do the stress test and all those things. And then the rest is history. So during that time when I experienced that, I know what heart attack is. Nothing to do with all that. What we go through in the meditation is nothing actually. Because sometimes you feel like, it's just like, I give you an example. When I was young, I remember when I played badminton, sometimes for no reason you over exercise or what, you feel your heart area there like one of the vein or what kan artery or vein, you feel like you think something wrong with you, but actually nothing. You relax into it, after a while it's gone already. And that type of thing is not a heart attack. The heart attack is different one. The heart attack, it will trigger a lot of sign. But for me, I was maybe different, because before it happened, I have that sign. And that sign is not the normal heart attack sign. I don't have any of those heart attack signs. Almost 99% of people will have one of those signs. Profuse sweating, sharp pain, then like half dead like that. For me, I was still okay, except the eerie feeling. Then when the ambulance came, they asked me, you masih boleh jalan. Because heart attack, you cannot move. They need to carry you out. Then I said, boleh lah. I said, sampai ambulance, naik ambulance pun boleh. So they very happy. Then they asked me where I want to go. I said, my file is in that hospital. So it took me there. And the advantage of ambulance is, you go there, all the doctor, all the thing already. Straight away from the ambulance, they take care of you already. You no need to worry about admission. My wife that follow me, they do the admission. So they immediately attend to you. Very good. My son also, well, one time, he was very young, 20 years old. I think after exercise, he go and sleep in the aircon room. The back cannot move. I don't know what they call that. He's like paralyzed. Luckily, the handphone was next to him. He called me. Then I asked him, where are you? He said, I'm in my room. Then why you call me? He said, I cannot move. Then only I came to know. Then I said, okay, don't worry. I called the ambulance. And he's so heavy, second floor. So we need two strong men. And they really sent two strong men. And they carry him down on the plywood. No, sorry, that one, that stretcher. Then they put him in the ambulance. They asked me where. I said, go to the same hospital. They're very good. Straight away let him lie down on a hard plywood bed. He said, rest there. Then they check him. After that, he recovered. Then they say, avoid aircon. Especially after you sweat, games, don't immediately go into aircon room. That's how we learn. We also don't understand. So the advantage of ambulance is they attend to you immediately. So don't try to save that money. I was told by a few other friends and even Kayamita, they go emergency, but they don't go ambulance. They drive there, wait for hours, some half a day, one day, nobody attend to you. And that is what is happening. So sometimes if it's urgent, emergency, it's worthwhile to call the ambulance. Ambulance is very useful. Okay, Alicia, sorry.
Yeah, it's okay, but actually 我 share 这个是因为我当下我 relate 回去我在普陀山回来的那个 experience 是一样，因为他像 then b r 就叫我 relax 嘛 then 我就回 b r 就之前的 advice 然后我就 relax 他过2天就没有了
你一定要 relax
对，
他是我们 without our knowing, we think is awareness, we exert, no, actually. We use the conscious mind to use the awareness to exert, no, to like make it stronger, no. Where we think by doing that, that so-called meditative approach can be more effective. Don't, because, but you can try it, no harm. You can find out. But in the early day, it become like very strong, very soothing, very nice. Then I do it. Then sometimes I overdo it. Then I relax into it. Then it's gone. That's why I came out of it. At that time, nobody can advise me. I also cannot talk to anybody. Well, nobody did this type of meditation at that time. Even my last guy cannot understand all this. Well, he go different way. He pure occult one. He love energy field one. The wisdom is not there one. So without wisdom, they develop it differently. Although they also use the word trust, but they didn't really 100% trust, because sometimes you are in that state, you think you are not doing anything, but actually without you knowing, unknowingly, the awareness that you have is an energy actually, even though it's pure energy, but you try to like develop it stronger, understand not? Like make it more strong, to activate and to move, but don't interfere. Just relax into it, maintain awareness, and let it move by itself. The one that moves by itself is very, very different and very amazing. You have to go through that. Don't go and have the conditioned thought or belief that you must do something for it to be strong and effective. Forget about it. You can try, no harm. It's like all those jhana, all those things. You want to experience it, try it, you can. But finally, you have to release it out to normal awareness. Then relax into it, maintain awareness, and use the fourth support, trust, to let it develop. And that trust, when it develops, is most amazing one. Without you knowing one, then nature just move, and a lot of things will happen one. Yeah. So that part, Alicia, that one is for you. Later on, you will understand that.
Thank you, Brother Dew. 其实我这一切的我都没有特地怎样的去说 expect or anything。我经常会提醒我自己，我的初心是什么？为什么你学
Very good.
You know, and then 我都会经常 like 一个 self check，self check，就是
那个很重要啊。
对，就是去 go through 一下你的 Noble Eightfold Path 的所谓 motivation，you know，then and so on and so forth, and then to develop wisdom，you know，so that
对，well finally is the wisdom that is most important. Wisdom that is the one that can free us and make us different. So the progress one is actually behind the subtle mind. There is also this, without us knowing, there is this movement which is very subtle, but you will start to see all those things. So your self-check is very important. Falling back to the ultimate understanding is wisdom that frees us. Like I always share with you, whatever happened, if you can develop the understanding of it, that is the more important thing. Very good, Sadhu.
就因为我经常都会提醒我自己，就是要不断努力的学习，因为要学的东西太多。
对，
所以
太多，好像不够时间的。
也是有一点点 ，you know，因为我低 ，then after that，but 后来我发觉到我的 understanding 是，不需要太过的强求说，你要怎样去学，怎样去学。
对 ，let it happen。Yes，
对
flow 啊，
对，
什么自然呢？I forgot that word。
要道法要自然，所以
对，
所谓的我一有时间我就说 make full use 啦 ，to 读相关或者听 radio 的 talk，是来 就是还是在精进啊，因为真的不能懈怠，不能懒惰，因为
对啊，
你懒惰下来哦，因为我们本性就是懒惰的，所以
对
不是
，actually 它是 complacency 啊，不是一种懒惰，是 complacency 你以为搞定了啦，OK 了，then 那个 complacency 啊。它会 actually affect the cultivator one. That's why 我要 remind 你们这些东西 is because in the early days when I was doing all this cultivation, I saw a lot of cultivator actually because of complacency fall back. They cannot develop the progress after that. Even 你记得 PG 吗？at one time she was staying here that time she progressed very well. Then go back to Penang because of condition. She become a bit complacent, then didn't do it. Then she actually deteriorated, but she know that's why she has to build it back. So she also need to accord and flow because of the sister's condition and all those things. So no problem. I think for her is finally she will find the understanding and continue. Yeah, Alicia, sorry. Yeah.
啊，是的，不是就因为所有的 happening 都是要自然嘛，所以
对对
你
对，
不能说
嗯
强求，也不能说急，也
对
没有急不来，所以就是他现在我就发觉到我很多时候就是来处于比较就是比较自然和静的一个境界，就是来比如说next what will happen，你不会去太过在意，
that
你
one is very important.
对
不要去 like predict 啦，or 去 forecast 啦，or get excited 啊，不要，just let it be. That's why this 自然 is very important, let things be, then we choose accept everything as natural, then let it unfold. Then when 你 accord and flow 你没有什么念头去 interfere 还是要知道要 progress that is the best mind state. Then only that trust can manifest. Otherwise, very subtle. I don't call it craving, even mental intention, very subtle. It can also actually interfere with the movement. That's why the best is accord and flow. Then nature take care of everything. As long as you trust your nature, you trust all the condition that manifest because you have no negativity. There is no what they call insincerity and all those things. And then all this 它自己会 fall into place 不用去 like want to do this, want to do that. I realize the best way is the what they call the middle way of non-interference. Means accord and flow. Means avoid the extreme, the duality, the extreme. Then 跟着那个因缘法 flow that movement. So accord and flow is very important. Like a lot of people saw 随缘, but 随缘 the meaning is not that deep. 随缘 is only one aspect of accord and flow. 随缘 means is like you don't want to have anything to do with it. You just like, but to develop the ability to accord and flow, you need wisdom. You need wisdom. You cannot just, 随缘 no condition, I do lah, no condition, never mind. But you cannot see the sign, you cannot understand the condition, then you believe this is the condition, that you go and do. You can get into trouble. Or not to say into trouble, you can still make certain type of deviation or error or mistake. And these are more subtle. As you develop, you will understand. Because without wisdom, actually, very easy to actually deviate from the true understanding. All this understanding need wisdom behind it. As you develop the understanding, the wisdom more and more, then you become more and more adept to it, and you understand it better. Then you know what is movement. Then naturally, the understanding actually know what to do. That is the most beautiful. Okay, Alicia, 要 summarize 了，
感恩 Brother Q for all the pointers，我会很细心的在听，然后从中去然后学习。感恩 Brother Q，我的 sharing 到这里，感恩 Brother，感恩大家，阿弥陀佛。
阿弥陀佛。Let us rejoice. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Very good. Okay. Then we will do the sharing of merits because it's already 10:34. Okay. Akasata Chilbumata Deva Naga Mahindika Punyang Tang Anumoditwa Chirang Rakantu Lokasasana Etawata Jamehi Sampadan Punya Sampadan Sabbe Deva Anumodantu Sabba Sampati Siddhya Idang menya tinang hotu Sukita hontu nyatayo Idang menya tinang hotu Sukita hontu nyatayo Idang menya tinang hotu Sukita hontu nyatayo Devo wasatu kalena Sasa sampati hetu cha Fito bhavatu loko cha Raja bhavatu dhammiko Imina punyang kamena Mame bala samagamo Sattang samagamo hotu Yawa nivana patiya Sadhu Sadhu Sadhu. Okay, you all can now pay respect mindfully to Lord Buddha, Kuan Yin Bodhisattva, and all the worthy ones. Then we end. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.